Story time, it's my favorite time, spending time reading with you. Welcome to another story time with Gam Gam. Let's see what we have for today. Welcome back to Story Time with Gam Gam. And do you see who I have joining me today? This is BK. He is a bookworm. If you watch for one of my shorts, I'll be introducing him in a short all about BK the bookworm. But our story today is Brave Little Bear. I wonder why Little Bear is so brave. Let's read and find out. This story was written by Steve Small, from the creator of The Duck Who Didn't Like Water. I haven't read that story. That sounds like a fun story. Brave Little Bear. Oh, he's a tiny little bear. It was early morning, and the three bears were fast asleep in their cave. Arlo was the first to awake. Do you see his eyes? Wide open. As soon as his sister Eva began to stir, she was eager to start the day. To her, the world was full of new things. But Arlo liked things just as they were. He liked the warmth of their den where they all slept. He liked how there was not quite enough room. Everybody was cozy. He even liked it when their snores woke him up in the night, because he'd get to curl up and fall asleep next to Eva and his mother all day, all over again. But all this was about to change. Today they were going to leave the only home Arlo had ever known. Winter was nearly over. It was time to leave the mountain and go to live in Spring Valley. Oh, look how big that tree is compared to Arlo. It'll be an adventure, their mother had said. Arlo knew what adventures meant. More new things. As Arlo watched Eva play outside, their mother whispered into his ear, "Follow me, my brave little bear," she said. Arlo took one last look around the den. I wish I were brave, he thought to himself. He looks a little bit timid, doesn't he? They set off into the great wood, where their mother had taught them how to be grown-up bears. Eva had been first up that tree, first down that steep hill, and first in the water. She didn't seem to be afraid of anything. Eva is the brave one, Arlo thought. Arlo, look, said Eva. A tall mountain ridge, covered in snow, stood before them. A cold wind began to blow. Ooh! Their mother looked at them both. Careful, she said. Spring Valley is on the other side. We need to cross. They began to climb the slope. Eva ran ahead. The wind blew harder. Stay close, their mother said sharply. Suddenly, the world disappeared. A huge snowstorm blew across that mountain. Arlo pressed as tightly as he could to their mother's side as she concentrated on each step. But even though he could hardly see in front of him, Arlo knew Eva wasn't nearby. Something was wrong. Oh no. Arlo quickly turned and looked behind him. Though the wind blew louder, he was sure he heard something. There again, it was getting further away. Arlo's eyes grew wide. He knew that sound. It was Eva! Eva had been sure she was only a few steps in front when the storm came. She had used all of her courage to walk back to find her brother and mother. But now, she had no idea where she was. Arlo! She cried again. But the wind was so strong she could barely hear herself. She couldn't take another step. Then as Eva drew breath for another cry, she held it for a moment. Had she just seen something in the distance? No, there was nothing. They must be far away by now. It was impossible. Then the impossible happened. Out of the storm, Arlo ran towards her. Arlo! Arlo pressed close to his sister. He couldn't believe he had found her. Arlo, Arlo, you're here. I'm so lost. I'm so afraid. Arlo hadn't had a chance to feel fear when he had set out to find Eva. He had just run without thinking. But now it was different. Yes, he nodded. I'm afraid too. Then Arlo remembered what his mother had said when he had first felt afraid that morning. Follow me, my brave little bear. Arlo looked at Eva and realized that this time was his turn to be brave. They turned to face the storm, and Arlo wondered how they could possibly know which way to go. And that's when he saw them. What did he see? Do you see it? A few deep prints from their mother's long strides. They were on the right path. This way, cried Arlo. It was a long, hard journey. Often the marks in the snow were nowhere to be seen, and sometimes they would climb and climb and slide all the way back down again. But every time they got back on their feet and carried on. And just when it seemed as if the storm would never end, it stopped. They could smell Spring Valley before they could see it. A faint breeze blew. They could almost taste the flowers and feel the warmth of the sun on their fur. They had made it over the ridge. And there, not many more steps away, eyes desperately searching the mountainside, stood their mother. We're here! We're here! Eva and Arlo cried. Mama Bear. She bounded towards them, happy and scolding at the same time, but her words were soft. I was so worried, she said. We were so afraid, said Eva, but we did try to be brave, added Arlo. Their mother looked at them, both with her serious, gentle eyes. Being brave when you feel afraid, she said, is the very bravest brave of all. What do you think? Is that being the very bravest of all? It's easy to be brave when there's nothing to be afraid of. Later that night, sleeping under the stars, Arlo woke to the sound of his sisters and mother's snores, and with a dreamy smile he growled heavily, curled up, and fell back to sleep. And now it's time for you to be a brave little bear and go to sleep too. You have a good night. Sleep tight. I love you.